All right, we just landed. Not landed.
We didn't land. We drove.
We drove to Cali. We haven't even seen the hotel yet.
Nope.
But we're here.
Yep.
Cali, LA area. And we decided to stop by our buddy Brendan Schaub's spot. We're going to record a pod, deep stage.
That's right.
We're going to knock one out just for you guys back home. So we're super excited, right?
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to do this one, man. This one's cool. LA, got the vibe, got the co-host, the host, and a special guest in a badass studio. So this is going to be great.
So let's check out what Brendan Schaub's studio is over at Thick Productions.
Boy.
Let's go. Thick boy, thick boy.
How's the wind cover on? What's up?
You guys want to do it? You want to do you two here and there?
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah,
one?
whichever.
You guys tell me.
Yeah, we can do two here.
Show.
Yeah, we can do two here, one there.
All right.
Yeah. We want to know a lot of things about Brendan. Obviously, we know that your success stories, the good things you've done, the Ultimate Fighter, the MMA record, comedian, podcasting. Now you're rocking and rolling in the auto world, which is a new venture,
100%,
right?
Yep.
So that's new, but none of it came easy.
No.
So you're a Colorado native, right?
Yep, Denver. Well, Aurora, Colorado. I claim Denver because most people know Denver. Aurora. Right now, it's a little frowned upon to rep Aurora because they're known for the illegal immigrants and the gang violence right now. My mom's still out there, so that's a little dicey. But yeah, I grew up in like suburbs.
Yeah.
Denver, Colorado, and yeah, I loved it, man. Loved it. Blue collar. And you touched on automotive. It's like it came from my dad. All that's from my dad.
Really?
He was always into cars. Always into cars.
What kind of cars?
We'd go to car shows as kids. Like that was the thing. Like we have pictures. Me and my brother are, 3 and 4.
Right.
We go to the car show every year. He'd find a local car show. So I do that with my boys now.
Yeah.
I just was always obsessed with cars. He had a picture of a 911, just a regular 911. So as soon as I started making a little money, I bought a 911 just for my dad and my family. Be like, hey, we made it, you know.
Yeah,
and
that's
then I have issues where I can't just have the regular 911. And then I went to the 911 GTS in all orange, the lava orange.
Yep.
Then I was like, oh, this is cool. What's next? I went to a GT3 RS. I was like, this is cool. What's next? I went to a GT2 RS.
Yep.
This is cool. What's next? Tune the GT2 RS. This is cool. What's next? Put 25,000 miles on it and just race around town like a madman. So I got problems, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Porsche is like the ultimate machine.
It is.
Yeah.
That's one of my buckets. They handle so well, but it's not so flashy
It's not.
like a Lambo,
Yeah.
a Ferrari.
I was telling
It's the
Tori.
subtle millionaire.
And I like the fan base
car.
around the Porsches better.
Yeah.
Like with the Ferrari, I've had it all, man. With the Ferrari crowd, it's weird. The
Yep.
Lambo crowd is insane.
Totally
it's
different
all TikTokers and YouTubers who've got their first money and they're going to
Yeah.
crash them.
Yeah.
But the Porsche audience is a little more educated, little more down to earth.
Yeah.
But then there's nothing like the off-road audience or even like the Mustang audience like that. That's who I vibe with.
Yeah.
I gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the culture out here, man. So the car culture out here is super rich, deep, a lot of cool stuff. I mean, obviously Colorado has its own, Texas has its own, but there's seasons to our car shows and things like that. And going and taking your kids, like for us, like in the summertime, I wake up with kids and be like, hey, you want to hit the car show? And they're like, fuck no, it's like 95 degrees already, bro. It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But being out here in the nice weather, do your kids like instantly
It's
get up?
year-round. Yep, every morning.
And they're like, Dad, let's go get donuts and go get some. Go get a heart.
Yeah, and
car
the
show.
best one like around us was in Malibu,
Right.
and that's where like, it's California. So again, they don't have any perspective, but like Jerry Seinfeld's there,
Yep.
Jay Leno, like the craziest car, Bugattis and McLarens. Like it's just a different vibe, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they were accustomed to that. And then the Malibu car shows, Cars and Coffee, has been there, I don't know, 40 years. It's
Yeah.
been there forever. And then the Malibu Cafe was like, oh, it's, taking up parking spots and all this. And we're like, well, why do you think it's so busy? So they shut it down. And I think, they're out of business now. And the car show left there, and it's another location. It's, it's not the same.
Right.
That's California for you.
So how many locations do you have, like, within your reach, like within like a 45-minute drive?
Every Friday at Big Bob's Burgers in Burbank.
Yeah.
Burbank, Pasadena. That's where like Heat, the famous scene in Heat was filmed there with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
Oh, nice.
Austin Powers, the big boy thing going into space. That's them.
Really?
So they do a hot rod show every Friday. And it's all old, classic, like Mustangs, like gnarly stuff with like real car dudes.
Yeah.
Really?
Like dudes who are doing, built motors, doing their own things, not these, bolt-ons.
Right.
You guys would love it.
Yeah.
Good food too. It's great, and it's been there forever, man.
Yeah.
I took my kids, and it was just a cool vibe. I brought my Demon 170 there. It was the newest car by 50 years, probably. I did not fit in.
You were like, who is this guy?
Yo, who wants some? Who wants some?
Demon 170.
They're
I was
like,
gonna say
ugh.
we should take the race cars there, and that's not.
So
gonna
that's a
happen.
hit or miss thing. Like with race cars, like sometimes I went to a vet show just opportunistically one time. I just stopped and they were like, "Hey, what do you got in there?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Zilla, the Hellcat." And I was like, "Oh, it's a Hellcat, it's a race car." He was like, "Oh no, bring it." Well, I was like, "Dude, this is a vet show." Dude, I ended up winning like third place at a vet show. And I'm like, it was
That's
just
how badass it was.
Well, it was just because it was different, man, because you have everybody there. The vet culture is kind of, they got a ton of people.
Oh, yeah.
But they were all like, oh, cool race car. So it actually, it wins sometimes. But it's such a pain in the ass to get out there.
Yeah, I like the different kind of crowds around, whether it's American cars, Ford, Dodge, Mopar, all that stuff, Chevy. I like the community, and that's why I gravitated towards off-road, because when I got in a wreck in my first TRX. Oh, no! It's embarrassing. It's ridiculously embarrassing. But like, oh, Schaub can't drive. And then from there, the off-road community just in freaking droves was like, dude, let us help you. I'm talking like big boys, BJ Baldwin, Ryan at Kibby Tech, King Shocks, Matt Martelli, who owns all the races. They're like Polaris, like, let us help you.
We got you, bro.
We got you, man.
That's so awesome.
And then I was like, oh, these are my people. And I didn't know it was out there, because remember, I'm around comics or athletes and UFC fighters. It's a different world, man.
Mm-hmm.
Different world.
You think that's because they all did the same mistake you did?
That's what BJ said. BJ, because he saw me getting all this heat for it, and he's like, dude, you know how many cars I flipped? He goes, I flipped, he was saying like a $400,000 carbon fiber F-150 going backwards. And he was like, if you haven't flipped a freaking truck, you ain't doing it right.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Right?
So he like came to my defense, and this is the #1 Baja racer in the world. And he's like, whoa, hold on. You tell me you guys haven't crashed a car before?
Yeah.
But it was the first time like I got noticed on the scene as crashing, which is what you kind of don't want to do. But to me, I don't really, I got thick skin, man. Coming up in comedy, coming up in football, fighting, like all these ventures, you're the new kid in school every time you restart, every time. So you're going to get bullied, right? And when I say bullied, nobody's physically bullying me.
Right.
I'm saying online bully.
Okay.
Oh, you're a car guy now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a fighter now. Oh, you're a football player now. So it's like, okay, keep going.
You choose to live like your life like you've lived it, and most people don't get behind the scenes. They just don't understand some of the struggle, like trying to figure out what you want to be good at. Like obviously, I've seen talented and grew up around talented athletes that
sure.
They get in and they're like, hey, this is great, but I'm just not for me, and they pivot and they go into something completely different. That's what I was going to get with you, and just say, what when you started out, obviously football player, that was one of the things that was easy to gravitate towards in high school, right?
I started playing tackle football when I was 6.
Right. So that wasn't even an option
so hurting people was a common thing.
Like my kid was 6 when
it was like the way to be cool though. Like
Yeah.
I was gifted athletically. I had an older brother, and we lived in a predominantly black neighborhood, and the only way to stand out was sports.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what you do?
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And then you're around like really good athletes,
Yep.
predominantly black athletes. So that's how I stuck out. Oh, that white boy can play.
Well, you have to.
And I was like, oh, I can. And then it was just like the cool thing. That's how I was known as Jay's little brother. Like, oh, no. And I was the smallest. I wasn't big.
Yeah.
And so when we'd break up and play, on Saturdays or after school, it was always like, oh, I'll take little Schaub. And I was like the #1 pick. And
Really?
so that gave me validation. So I was like, oh, I like this feeling.
Right.
That was in Aurora?
I was in Aurora.
Yeah.
So I
Dude.
like that feeling, like, oh, I am good at this. And then you start believing that. And then it was like, oh, I'm going to go to the NFL. That's what I'm going to do.
Wow. So I mean, from that point on,
Since
you
I
were
was
like,
6. Yeah, I
since
was
you
like,
were
I'm going to
6.
the NFL. And you know, I was arrogant as a kid where my Pop Warner coaches, if they didn't have at least a college background, I wouldn't listen to them.
That's actually pretty.
I
That's
was
not.
like, no.
I don't think that's arrogance, though. That's. I
But
mean,
one of them found out that I was that way and I was a good player, and they selected me first. And then he was like, I played for the Chiefs. And I was like, cool, you're in. and then after 5 years with him, he's like, hey, can I let you in on a secret? I'm like, what? He's like, I never played for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I
I
stopped
lied to you,
playing
bro.
after my sophomore year. I was like, oh. He's like, your dad told me you wouldn't respect me. And
I'm
like, 9. I'm like,
came in.
yeah, I'm like 9, dude.
Tell him you
Yeah.
played for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
be fine.
Yeah,
He'll be
and
good.
it's like a random team. And back then, the Chiefs were terrible. So I was like, that makes sense. You know,
That's
so
so.
that was Steve Bono.
You were gifted athletically, which
Uh-huh.
I mean, did you have? I mean, obviously you grew up in a high. When you went to high school, how did you stand out athletically? Was it like, hey, I'm top tier, nobody's around me, or did you have like a group of 5, 6 dudes that were very gifted in several sports?
That's a good question, brother. I mean, I was good. I wasn't like, Mr. Colorado. There's some kids who are like super outliers. I
Yeah.
just, since I was little, I just get obsessed with things. And then like the work ethic is bar none.
Gotcha.
Like good luck.
So that's a
dude.
follow-up
Good
question.
fucking luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Good
follow-up
luck.
question.
And,
So
that goes into, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
That goes into anything I'm doing. So when it's like football, that door's shut. Then I go to UFC, that door shuts. And then I go into podcasting and then stand up. And then the car business, it's like anything they say to me, I don't care. Because work-wise, it's going to be tough, man, to keep up with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not an arrogant thing. That anybody can do it. This isn't a talent.
Yeah.
It's just what my dad bred in me.
Right.
Like the blood flowing through my veins, it's different than yours.
Right.
I'm willing to go places you're not.
yeah, and that's what I was telling my kids the other day, man. I was like, dude, you just got to be willing to do shit that people don't want to do.
You got to be a dog.
Yeah.
You
And-
gotta be a dog.
How did your dad breed that into you, though?
Because my dad, when I was young, he went through a divorce with my mom. He got diabetes, and then that like broke him. That broke him, and then he was working like Pursuit of Happiness, like door-to-door sales, and then was just grinding his ass off. Then he came up with a security software for emails at the time that the government and like high-end jewelry shops and banks wanted to use.
Yeah.
And he was hustling that for a while, and then his company got bought out. I remember being on the phone, like jumping around, being like, "Oh, yes." And,
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's the
twirling
ticket.
around.
Yeah.
Next day, my dad comes and he has printouts. Like they were like so blurry. They had printouts. I remember seeing the 9/11 picture on the wall in the kitchen. They had printouts of 4 different houses, and came to me and my brother. Sorry, and he's like, "Which one?" And I was like, "What?" And we lived in like the house was like this size. He's like,
Yeah.
"Which one?" And we're like, "I don't know, man." He's that one. Next day he pulled up. He's like, "Go pick your room out."
Wow.
Boom.
So that
Just like
inspired
that.
you.
Boom.
Like that lit a fire right
Boom.
there.
So seeing-
new goal unlocked. I'm like, "Oh, this is what you do. You just grind your ass off."
Just
Yeah.
hustle.
That's my
so
dad.
seeing the hustle
Seeing it.
was inspiring.
Seeing it, and then with sports, I would get positive reinforcement how good I was, and then I wanted to be like everybody else. Like most 6, 7, 8-year-olds want to play with their friends after school. Man, I don't want to have to go to football all the time. I remember I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
first season, I wanted to quit. My dad was like, "You want to do what?" I was like, "I'm going to quit." He's like, "Cool. You're going to walk up to the team right now. I'm going to walk with you." He was right up the street. He's like, "I'm going to walk with you and tell all the team you quit."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Go ahead." And so he gets all my gear, and he knew I wasn't going to. He gets all my gear together,
Yeah.
and the mouthpiece is there. I'm like, "I don't need a mouthpiece. I'm not fucking practicing." But he bought the
Don't need that
mouthpiece and
fucking thing.
water.
Yeah.
And we get up there. He's like, "Go ahead." He's like, "Team, gather around." The coach's
Yeah.
like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Brett has something to tell you." He's like, "Go ahead. Tell him. Take accountability right now. Go tell him what you told me." And I was like, "I forget." And he's like, "You want you want all your gear on?" I'm like, "Yep, give me my gear." And
Give me my
since
gear.
that day, I'm like, "Yep, you got it."
Damn.
Never missed practice, nothing.
That's badass.
Yeah, I was like 6.
It's a work ethic. Yeah. So that's Danny Amendola. So that
Stud.
dude, freaking
Handsome
nuts,
little
man.
bastard.
Son of a, and his work ethic.
First
bro.
team All Short King too.
Yep. Dude.
Really?
Yes. And just a tremendous work ethic. And met him a few times. We have some very common friends, but the dude, he has one of these things where you can't whoop him. You can't whoop that motherfucker, dude. He's going to get out. And athletically, not that gifted. They're just a workhorse.
Just a workhorse, great technique.
Yeah.
Smart
as
super
fuck.
smart.
Yeah, he played slot for.
That's what's made all of us who we are, though, right?
I know, dude.
Is the grind
And the relentless passion of just like, I'm not going to stop until I see.
Yeah, and just people telling
results.
you can't. You need that.
Yeah.
It's fuel.
You need that rocket fuel. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's how it goes.
hell yeah.
If everyone's just been like, you can for sure do it, you're never gonna make it. Yeah.
So how'd you transition from football to MMA?
Fighting.
Yeah.
I was still in Boulder at the time. I was working out, and when I'd do jiu-jitsu to stay in shape, I've just always liked MMA. Like I watched the Pride days, early UFCs. The first UFC was in Denver. My uncle would rent the VHSs, so I was always familiar with UFCs.
Yeah.
And then I would do jiu-jitsu just to, stay in shape during the off season. And the professor like, man, you're pretty good at this. I was like, oh, cool. Didn't think much of it. And then had a shot with the Buffalo Bills. Went there. They're like, we're all set on slow white guys. I got cut from the team. And then
They were too.
they were set, man, especially back then. And then I went back home and was like, I got to figure it out. I was selling supplements door to door. And then there was a gym like close to the office that I worked at, called Hard Nutrition. There was a gym called High Altitude Martial Arts. It was Nate Marquardt's gym. He's a 7-time pancreas world champion. Fought for the UFC title, and he was in there and ran the school. And I was like, I'll do this just to mess around. So I went in there, and then there wasn't too many big guys. And he was like, hey, come back tomorrow. I was like, I'm busy tomorrow. He's like, no, come back tomorrow because there's a heavyweight that's training. He either has 0 fights or he's getting ready for a fight.
Right.
It's his first fight. He's like, so you'll have a training partner, because I was big, so I was whooping everybody's ass. And he goes, come back tomorrow.
Did they bump you up at all, or
no? They just tossed me with the black belts, purple belts.
Oh,
brown
shit.
belts.
So they were like,
my ass would, but I was real strong, so I couldn't go full go. He goes, come back tomorrow. There's heavyweights. So this heavyweight comes in. His name was Shane Carwin, who became the UFC world champion.
Yeah.
But me and him started together. And he was like an older brother, and then I didn't have money to afford privates, and he would pay for me to do the privates, and me and him both made it to the UFC, man.
That's crazy.
So it was just like football stopped, but that work ethic's still there. You know, so I needed some outlet.
Yeah.
It just happened to be an MMA gym up the street.
So was it similar training, or did you like the training for like that what you did for MMA? Was it because I play ball and it's tough, like everything about it. I've never been into mixed martial arts. My kids are in it. So training style, did you like the MMA stuff better? Or did you like the football stuff better?
They're just so different. I like the
are.
MMA. It's all on you. So with football, there's 11 players. So I can do a great job. If the other 10 don't, it's a failure. In MMA, it's just on you, and I like that part of it.
That's interesting.
I love
And then you pivoted right into comedy, which is also
yes and no, because I was fighting the UFC, and then I was on a 2-fight losing streak, and I was like, I gotta change it up. I gotta get with better coaches and training partners. And so I literally just packed my car and drove to LA because all the hot camps were in LA. And so I came out here, and then I was a coach on The Ultimate Fighter, and they brought a comic named Brian Callen in to make the kids laugh. And he was like, oh, I live in LA. I'm like, me too, dude. I just moved there. He's like, oh, let's get coffee. Me and him get coffee. This is like 15 years ago. And he's like, hey, come on my podcast. I'm like, what the hell's a podcast?
what is that?
We're doing it out of his garage in Santa Monica. And then we did the first one. We had this weird chemistry. He's like, man, let's do this every week.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm down, but I don't want to just talk about fighting. Yeah, let me just talk about cars, chicks, fashion. And he's like, whatever, dude, let's do it. I was like, what are we going to call it? He's like, Fighter and the Kid. I was like, who the fuck's the kid? He's like, me. That's what they call me, the kid. I'm like, he's 44 at this time, mind you. I'm like, who calls your old ass the kid? He's like, on set, everyone does, man. And I found out like 5 years later, like no one's ever referred to him as the kid. That's his own. That's his own shit. He gave himself a nickname. So we launched the Fire and the Kid, and then that was a comedy podcast. And that show at the time, not everybody and their aunt had podcasts.
Yeah.
So it was like Rogan, Carolla, Mark Maron, Stern was doing his thing, and we were the first, I was the first professional athlete to have a podcast. Yeah. So I was ranked number 10 in the world, and I had a podcast. It was unheard of. And now everyone, their freaking mom has a podcast.
Yeah.
But back then it wasn't that way. So me and him were just doing our thing, and then it started to get traction. And I got to be more well known for being silly on that than punching people in the face. And then it got so big that we started doing live shows. And it was Brian's recommendation. He's like, let's do live shows. I'm like, dude, you ever seen a live podcast? They're so boring. He's like, no. We're going to do like improv and like sketch and stand up. I was like, I'm into that. So then we started doing live shows, and every show would start out with me telling a 10-minute story at the top. And I didn't know that was stand-up. I just thought I was doing storytelling, so I wouldn't get nervous because I can talk for days.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd start with a 10-minute story, and then that thing just gained legs. And then we did one at the Comedy Store, the famous Comedy Store in Sunset, and we did a Live Finding Kid there, sold out in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then a week later, the booker for the comedy show, Emily's like, hey, we want you to do a set in the Belly Room. And I was like, oh, let me call Brian. I don't know if he's available. And she's like, no, dumbass, you. I'm like, wait, by myself?
Wait, me by myself in the Belly
yeah.
Room?
I'm like, okay. And then off to the races.
Really?
Off to the races.
So a lot of people say that strikes a bone and you like stand up. Like I've got some I got some friends that do that, but like you really
At
know.
what level?
They're at they're in Austin, so they do Austin with Rogan's podcast and what he's done down there with the Mothership.
Mm-hmm.
There's these comedy things that are popping up, so they're in there doing improv training and doing different things like that. But they get to a point where they're like, I don't care, it's just fun, it's an outlet.
It depends. If they don't have kids, sure. Fire away, dude. Do all the open mics you want. For me, where I step back from is when the kids got involved and they started playing sports.
Yeah.
Because, and hopefully whoever your friends are, they get to the level where they're headlining around the country, but you're gone Thursday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids' sports are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday through Sunday.
That's true,
so there's this fine line, and maybe some dads have the answer who are comics. I don't.
Yep.
I feel like I'm a pretty smart dude, and I was like, I can't do both.
Right.
I can't be present, be the dad that I was supposed to be, and be a headlining comic.
Yeah.
Something has to give. And sure as hell ain't going to give on my kids.
No,
so I got to
dude.
step back from comedy.
So that's what I was going to ask you also. And I was like, look, you've got a few things that just swirl around, but you seem to be centric back to your kids. And then, obviously because your dad poured into you the way that he did.
Great dad,
You're like, dude, I'm passing that on. So you're in with your kids like that. Like, when do you say no? How do you say no? Like, dude, we appreciate you shooting this with us.
Of course, yeah. Chris, my
Legends.
boy, and Chris does,
The
so
kids
much.
are legends.
Chris does so much for me, but it's a pretty easy decision to say no to stand up. I fired my agent at the time because he argued with me over it. I'm like, you don't get it, you're fired. And then saying no has been difficult for me.
Right.
I'm too nice. The internet's gonna tell you I'm this mean asshole. No, I'm too nice. That's why I get in trouble. I say yes to everything.
Right.
Yes to everyone, everything. I feel like I can help everybody. And there's just some bad people out there, man. Not everyone's like us.
So
there's just some bad apples. So you're like, oh man, made that mistake.
What are some of the biggest regrets you've had? Or maybe not regrets. Let's not say regrets.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you've made in your growing process?
Doing a donut in a 1100 horsepower TRX with all-wheel drive.
Yeah, no, that'll do.
And them tell me I could turn it off.
I think.
My bad.
Was that a mistake though? Would you,
In
looking
hindsight,
back, would you see that
I missed
that's
that
a
truck.
mistake?
I missed that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean the one I have now.
I was about to say the one.
No,
you have.
that's the thing. Like, is it a mistake? I could have got hurt. Casey was there. It was scary as shit.
It's a Sandstorm TRX. It was a nice truck.
Yeah. I love that truck.
It was a really nice truck.
But look what came from it.
Right.
I know. So as far as
Curse
like
and a blessing kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. But it could be anything. I turn something, I turn chicken shit into chicken soup, man. It could be anything. I'm just not a negative person.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I was. I might be able to protect myself more, but I can see just a complete moron of human being. I'll just go, they just haven't had a shot yet.
Yeah.
They just need a little help, and it'll burn you, man. But when it comes to like wrecking my truck, like Casey was with me, I was cool. I was a little concussed, but I was cool. Went to Taco Bell, bought the boys Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Called my wife. She's crying. Kids are crying. I'm like, I messed up. Probably shouldn't have done that. But it's like, all right, what now? Like, I'm never like, the truck. I can't believe that. It's literally like blinders on. I just move forward. Mm-hmm. No matter what, I move forward.
Seems like any opportunity, any door that is presented to you, you're kind of open just to see what it is.
I'm gonna get through any by all means possible. And it's also I don't believe in odds. Like when people go, chances to make it, Division I football are 1 in a million, or being a stand-up's 1 in 10 million, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't listen to it. I do not care about your odds.
Yeah, I think they're good points of reference for failure. Was what odds are.
Yes.
Good points of reference for failure.
That's what everybody tries to lean to.
Yeah.
But now you've made it, right? Successful.
Doesn't feel like it. Yeah, I don't feel like
You're
it.
not ever gonna feel that way though.
No, I got problems.
You got to keep going.
I got problems, man.
He's got a
You
car
gotta keep
problem.
going.
Dude.
Yeah.
So, but we've gone this successful with what you have from your first 911 that you purchased.
I mean,
right?
first purchase was F-150 flare side.
The
Very first was a
Fleer
flare side. Yeah. Yeah, the 911 is when I started making a little money podcasting, not fighting the UFC.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
So that's what.
to gauge success, do you buy a car to gauge or as a benchmark of like, yeah, we did that. I'm going to go celebrate with this car as a memory of
100%.
what I worked hard for?
Yeah. That's exactly what I do.
That's
it. Like with the giveaway truck, like that's a risk, man. And I've talked to the big boys in the space, people, the companies I look up to, and like, dude, your first one, you might break even. You're probably gonna lose a little money and all this. And I'm like, I feel like I'll be all right, man. Like I always believe in myself. And it ends Saturday night, and the goal I set for the team, it was, it's pretty outrageous. But we're close, man. We're like 200 orders away. If I hit that, I'll, probably buy a Hummer or some shit. Like I'm weird, man. But that's my way of like, because I'm bad at stopping smelling the roses. That's how I smell the roses. I won't remember a lot of it. I just don't have too much going on. I won't remember like, oh, you made this mistake with the merch or this mistake on the build. I don't remember that. I remember the finite number we got, and then I'll remember the truck.
That's how I am.
Are you?
Yeah, I want toys.
So all those cars out at the Horsepower Ranch.
The toys are to remember, right?
Yeah.
Or things. Motorcycle, a side by side.
That motorcycle.
The Demon, a truck, a car. Would I buy the wife? It's always like, okay, let's go. It's a car for me.
Bro, I bought my
Bel
wife.
Air, a 56 Bel Air. Like it's.
I did the same thing.
That's what's cool, right?
Yeah, and my thing is, I'm not trying to be cool on the internet. Like I'm not buying Lambos and doing all that weird shit. Like I'm doing what's cool, really for my kids.
How did that? Okay, so doing it for the kids, because you've got two.
Yeah, three.
Yeah, that's right. Three now.
That's
You got a
9
baby
months
girl.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, that's right.
You're
And
right.
her favorite thing is a monster truck. I'm like, yes.
That's
but
awesome.
also don't
Dude,
be a,
have you
but
seen
also
the
don't be a
circuit?
lesbian.
Have you seen this? But have you seen that
Yes,
circuit?
but also.
I get it.
Yes, but you like pink, right? You know,
Dude.
it's like one of those.
But
It's like one of those. You're
Yeah.
all sick.
Yeah.
I'm back
She
into
mean the
monster
WNBA?
trucks now. Like the Monster Jam stuff.
Yeah.
They chicks rule that stuff.
My
Yeah.
daughter's brutal. You met.
Yeah,
What is
she's
that?
great.
She'll wear a dress and she'll put my son in a rear naked choke.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, like I'm scared for her.
Sign her up.
She's a little personality, man.
She's
Your daughter-
a firecracker.
Yeah,
Get her with
She's
Herman, dude.
3, but acts like she's 13 already.
Yeah.
She's a firecracker. Damn, dude. But I'm excited. So how did the kids, from your grind before kids and after kids,
Mm.
how did that change? Did it make you more aggressive?
Yo, big time, and more willing to take on risk, and just the work. I've always had a good work ethic, and then when the kids come, my financial advisor at the time, who I fired back in the day because he couldn't count, but whatever, he sent me a chart. Was like, look, this is before you had kids, this is after your first kid, and it's like, tenfold, not even close. And then that just every kid, boom, it just different levels. Like Papa Bear comes out.
Yeah.
Where it's just, it's not about you buying cars and stuff for yourself. It's about the kids.
Oh, that's just the leftover, right? So I'm going to pivot into your spouse, because we found out just, between Chris and myself and other people that we've had on our pod, that the women behind this grind, they find a way to support it in a way that you need.
God bless 'em.
But it's like so hands off. It's like, I got to give him room to fail.
He has to do his thing.
Yeah. So how does that work out in your relationship?
Yeah, it worked out with me and my wife, because when I started, I was in the UFC grinding, and I was renting. It was like a 500 square foot apartment, and I was sleeping on the ground, and I didn't have cable or anything. And she'd bring over an iPad. So she's been with me since those days
Love
to
that.
this now, So she also knows, like, I'm a lot, man.
Yeah.
I'm a lot. When I can't do multiple things, when I get zeroed in on something, like I have to get through it, otherwise nothing will get done. Like otherwise she'd be like, oh, do it later. Okay, but it's all I'm gonna be thinking about. So she'll know, just let him get through this and then we can move on.
Right.
So I'm very like direct with that. So I'm a lot. God bless her. I'm a lot.
So that's one of those things to where like they go through this process. I remember when I first got married, like same kind of issues, and I think it stems from like dyslexia and just overthinking a lot, right? Analyzing.
Some think autism. But
yeah, and it's like real close to the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Because you just can't get off of the subject.
Yeah.
And so she noticed that about me, and I was like, "Hey, it's me, and I'm sober now." So I'm really comfortable with, who I was at this time. It's 12 years ago. And I was like, I just need somebody that understands who I am going forward. And she's like, I got you.
That's great.
And
man.
I was like, dude, I found my peace,
Sober's huge too.
Yeah.
Sober's huge.
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, tough one.
Did you bounce your ideas off of her?
Never.
No? You just go after it?
She already knows, man.
No, because again, my ideas are so wild, you got to be around other lions. So if a zebra bounces an idea off a lion, the lion's going to be like, dude, that's a fucking terrible idea.
Go take your zebra.
Don't do it, man. Get the hell out of here. So I got to be careful who I give ideas around.
Yeah.
Because they're going to shoot them down, and then you might not launch.
Yeah.
So I usually don't tell anybody until it's basically done. And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, and she's like, really? I'm like, by thinking, it's already in motion. Like it's happening. So I got to be super careful.
It's like that all the time.
Yeah, same.
So I'll do that with Marlene, like when buying a car. She goes, you said you were just coming here to look.
No, picking
never,
it up.
Never.
It's already...
Oh, if we're going, I'm not... I've already done the looking.
Yeah, it's done.
I had
and
shit.
we're doing it.
Oh, no, dude, I just bought this H1 Hummer. I didn't tell my manager, my brother, my dad, my wife, nobody.
Yeah.
I told my 8-year-old. Because he's so into cars.
Yeah.
I told him he's the only one. Everyone else, they're like, what's going on? I'm like, all right, so here's the deal. It's headed from Dallas right now, and they're like, what? And I'm like, I'll figure it out,
Yeah.
But it's to celebrate the milestone of the first giveaway.
Yeah.
Like that, the odds are not with you on that stuff, man.
That's badass.
That's why I did it.
That's badass.
Yeah.
But it's motivation.
Hell yeah.
Because you're like, I'm going to get that Hummer, so we're going to make that because I'm going to get that. That's what I want.
I guarantee you're not through with the giveaways, are you?
Oh, no.
See?
No, we just signed a massive deal with Roush, dude. No. The plan is, when's this airing? Do we know? When
Late. It'll probably be a couple of weeks, maybe.
Cool. So this will be out there. No. So the first one, we Roush was like, yeah, we're in. We really don't know who you are, but we're in for the Raptor giveaway.
Yeah.
And then that thing was, a monster. And like, so what's next? I'm like, you tell me. Like, what's cool that you guys are doing? And they're like, well, we're trying to do this new Roush like kit for the Mustang. Take a GT or a Dark Horse, the 5.0, and it takes it from 500 horsepower to 860. But we only have like 100 kits available.
Give me a
And I was like, oh, crazy, because I'm doing a Mustang. Like, really? I'm like, I am now.
Yeah.
So then, so we signed a pretty good deal with Roush. So that's a big boy. And then I make all these promises and tell the team after. Casey's going to find this out right now. And our boy Marco has to cut all the ads. It's such a beast. But, we have to have it completed and finished by November 1st for SEMA, because we'll debut it with Magnuson at SEMA.
That's
wow.
perfect.
Yeah.
So you got it.
But as far as they know, I'm like, I already got the Mustang. I don't. As far as
Dude,
figuring all
it's
this
a Mustang,
out,
first of all.
I'll figure it out
get
afterward.
It
Yeah, it's not like I'm looking for the Hummer
Yeah.
2-door that I just found. No, I'll find a Mustang around here. They're dime a dozen, man.
Yep.
Are you going to raffle it? So that's the next raffle one?
That's the next one, and we did. It was almost a 9-week raffle with that Raptor, which is too much. So this one, again, I haven't ran this by anybody, but I think we knock out 4 to 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'll stay mainly in the off-road space. Like that's I feel comfortable there. But this Mustang would be different.
So how's this team that you have that you speak of? How long have they been with you?
Casey, how long have we been together? Since Showtime days?
Yeah, 4, 5 years.
Well, we've been here 5.
7, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, almost 6. Because Casey was working for Malca Showtime. I was with Showtime for like 6 years. And then I was with them for 6 years. They had no digital footprint, so they brought me in to like build that whole footprint. I built it, created shows for them. And then my contract was coming to an end. They wanted to re-up. And I'm like looking around all the shit they built. For me in Santa Monica, I'm looking around. I'm like, I feel like I could do it myself. Heavy lies the crown. I'm like, I feel like I could do it myself. So I turned down the deal. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm out, man. I'm just going to start my own thing. But in the contract, I owned all the IPs. So I took all my shows with me.
Interesting. Okay.
But some of the employees there at Showtime, like Casey, I was like, hey, man, I'm leaving. Nobody knows this yet. You know, he's a monster. I'm like, I need a guy like you. How much you making? He told me, I'm like, well, I'll pay you this much. And he's like, say less. I quit.
Peace.
Here we are.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And then it's just a different animal when because it was Showtime. I was the talent. I just had to show up. I create stuff for them, but I just had to show up, and the crew was there, the guest was there. I didn't have to book any of that. And then when you leave and you're doing it on your own, it's a lot, man. It's just a lot. So I was like, I have to do it like Showtime. I need 10 employees. I need this crazy office. So I had 10, 12 employees, and it's just not like I run and gun, So after 5 years, what do we have? You have you, me, Mark, Chin, Nick. We have 5 monsters, which is better than 12 average people.
That's very true, man.
How hard is it to keep that circle tight?
Now it's not. I learned the hard way, because I'd let people in, they'd burn you, or they're just lazy, or nobody's gonna care about your business like you do. So it's just you learn those lessons. And I remember I called my dad, who's a successful businessman. I said, right when I made the switch, I'm like, Dad, I got the perfect team. He's like, I'm telling you don't.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm telling you might be lucky if one of them works out. I'm like, oh, you're a hater, dude.
Don't come to me.
Hater, dude. That's why I don't share my ideas with anybody, man.
Fucking asshole.
Boy, was he right.
Yeah.
He was like, you won't know when you make it till you're being sued, which I've been sued. He's like, you won't have a business until that stuff happens. He's like, then you're in the real world.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
is he right.
Yeah.
And I hate that wise wisdom. Dude, you just get slapped down with it sometimes. Just going through that first lawsuit right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is so dumb.
It's such a waste of
It's
time
fucking
and
waste
energy.
of time. And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
same.
why do I have to? I mean, I've got all this other shit that makes me money that I could do, but then this time suck. And so we come up with this thing called opportunity cost. And I was like, yeah, we want to counter sue for opportunity costs. And it was basically an hourly rate that I was like, look, I'm losing time. This is what I equate, to my business, and I'm in charge of sales for another company.
This is what I'm going to charge you.
This is what I'm going to charge you, and they fucking
Good for
did
you.
it. Yeah,
Good for you,
Wow.
It
bro.
was like 27 G's.
Yeah,
man.
it's just so stupid.
Really?
It's,
Yeah.
it's such a waste of time.
I'm like, this is
nobody
fucked up.
wins. The lawyers win.
No,
I mean,
that's all that.
the
That's all
lawyers
that
win.
wins.
Yeah.
I did my first lawsuit was a track hawk.
Yeah.
This guy was such a con artist.
I bet you deal with it
dude.
all the time.
He was such a con. We built this car. We were in the process of building this, but he would change it all the time, and then he would take parts and do stuff, and I'm gonna ship it out, yada yada.
Yeah.
Right? Well, then he shows up with his insurance after he took parts and shipped them out to get tail lights smoked and things like this done and headers coated, things like this, right? Shows up with his insurance company, dude, and is like, yeah, he's been parting out my car.
Jesus Christ.
And he's a chop shop. So shows up with the police and all this. Dude finds out, we find out he's been 3 months late on his Trackhawk payment.
Of course.
They're looking
So
for
they're
it
looking for this.
at your
So
shop.
he's trying to get insurance to pay this thing off, and
You're dealing
then
with a bad guy.
sues me and all this, because insurance was like, show us all this stuff. And I was like, well, I gave it to him. Here it is. Here's the video. Here's the picture. Here's the shipping label receipts to where he's had me ship these things to. Here they all are. And they were like, yeah, okay, we're out. This is a waste of time.
Yeah.
And they left. And then we get served with paperwork on the lawsuit saying that I've lied to him about this build and all kinds of crazy left wing
But you know why
stuff.
you don't even see that stuff coming? Because you're a good human being.
I know.
Like a lot of stuff it hit you like a curveball. You're like, oh, of course I didn't see that coming because I'm not
Yeah.
a terrible person.
Yeah.
I didn't even think it was possible.
Dude, but it
It's
makes
like,
you
wait,
feel
gonna-
like you're a shitty person because
No.
you're like,
or
what
it
the
validates you. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Well, it's
Yeah.
exactly what
People-
happened,
people
dude.
suck.
It instantly nut punched me, and I was like, well, this sucks.
Yep.
I thought I did something wrong.
Yeah.
And then, after 2 conversations with 2 other entrepreneurs and you, I
Yeah.
was like, pff, they're like, dude,
It
this is your
happens.
first
Oh,
time.
my dad was laughing. He's like, that ain't shit.
Yeah.
He's like, just wait, buddy. If you're
Yeah.
going to where you got to get to go, it's going to keep coming. I was like, fantastic.
That's when
Which
you know
is
you made
crazy.
it. That's
And
when-
my attorney told me that. He goes, you know why? He saw your building, He saw you how successful you
Yeah.
were, and figured you would just write the check and go, and not fight.
Most of them think that. But the right type of person that you guys would hire, that you guys would be friends with, comes to your shop and goes, man, this is inspiring.
Yeah.
And then they get motivated and start to figure out a way to get that themselves.
Yeah.
The person comes in and like, oh, he has money, I'm going to try and take it from him. That's people you don't want to hire.
Yeah. And that was that. So the thing is, like, how do you how do you
You can't.
sort those
You don't?
You're doing it
customers
now.
out?
Playing cards,
You're doing
right?
it now. You're getting your master's degree in shitty people.
It really
Yeah.
is.
I got my black belt in it.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's fucked up because here's the thing, and I was going to go back to that because he had mentioned this, and this was one of the things I was like, damn, I'm going to pick your brain about that. But do you ever, like, I've hit a couple spots. I'm like you, dude, I'll invest time and money into people, right? And I can have people around me say, hey, that person's a shitty person, that person's a shitty person. I'm like, and I have to find out for myself. Do you ever hit a limit and you're just like, fuck, I'm callous now? No.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you?
you're looking at it. Yeah, I hit my limit. Yeah, hashtag no new friends. Like I run with a small circle. I don't go out anymore. If I'm not doing stand-up, I'm focused on the kids. The friends now that I conversate with are baseball dads, 9-to-5ers for the most part, blue-collar dudes, like good people.
Yeah.
The only time now that I have to deal with kind of some shady people is in your business. I've dealt with some shops where it's just like, how the fuck are you still?
They just called Bailey's out.
I was like, dude, you're about to enter in a whole nother world of shittiness with the car stuff, man.
Yeah, it's a different animal. And just like anything, there's great people and, some bad birds out there. And I figured out pretty fast. I've only been in it over a year now. And you figure out like, oh, yeah, the guy says he's going to do something, he doesn't. And all good. All good. Now I know not to go there. All good. It's the only way you're going to learn. I just don't recommend him. I don't badmouth anybody,
Yeah.
He has, he probably has wife, kids. I don't know. But I'm not going to hurt his business.
It's amazing to hear that one shops are even ran like that. Because when a shop gets into a world of catering to the elite like you in your world, you don't have time to sit here and argue with them about how they installed stuff, what was done.
Just will never go back.
Any of this. They just leave.
Yep.
And it's such a huge missed opportunity.
Huge.
And I don't understand why people. It's the lamb, I guess, then in the industry where I'll never equate or understand why they don't capitalize on opportunity.
And especially in the automotive space, like obviously shops are gonna have their beef, and that's what my car's fast or whatever. That's healthy.
That's fine.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But though it works in the automotive space, it's like the other day, someone stopped me on the highway. We're going fucking 80. Guy pulls up next to him in my light, and he's like, "Oh, blah blah did that right? He's great." And I went, "No, he's terrible." That's all it takes, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
And so, and then I go, I'm at car shows all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, blah 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 did that. He's good, right?
Nope.
Nah, he did this, this, and this. Boom.
Done.
He tells his buddy. And that it's gonna come back around.
Yeah.
I don't get on the internet and talk shit. I don't do that. I would never do that. It's just word of mouth.
That's
he did this, man. I wouldn't recommend him. Oh, cool. Good to know.
Most of my stuff has been word of mouth. The social media stuff has been an ongoing thing, a new upcoming thing.
Dude, you need to give yourself credit. A lot of the stuff is you being at the track and willing to invest in motherfuckers to send them down the fucking track at that speed, dude.
Yeah.
That you've got to like.
You've also done it though. A lot
You're
of
doing
shops
it, too.
haven't done it. So the reason I came to you is because you said the world record. You deem it.
Same.
Yeah. So that's the grind.
You're just not
though,
some
right?
dude with a beard that we're like, yeah, I think he can
You're
do
not
it. Like I
selling-
saw your
But
video.
that's
I'm like,
beard
I
oil.
need that.
That's the grind that I'm willing to put in, that you put into all your businesses, we put into all the businesses. That's the grind. Like, I guarantee you I will watch another shop's car go down the track, and I'll know how I can beat them on the track.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just by watching how they do that track.
Yeah,
Right?
but
And
it's,
you've earned that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
and
So-
when you're out there, people people watch you and they look at how you're interacting. Like that was the experience that I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'll say it a million times. It's like, I got time to get in a car that I know that can go down safely and that we can travel with and have a good time. And that's why I see you doing it, your family, and you got to give yourself street credit.
Yeah, no, Chris opened my world. I mean, when we were talking about the TRX, You know, you're like, oh, you think, I was like, I wish I had this much horsepower. And you're like, oh, you ever thought about doing a built motor? And so, I've been since I was 16 a bolt-on guy. Like intake and this and, just the random bullshit. And then you start talking about cams and heads and pulleys. I'm like, oh, there's
more
internals.
Yeah.
And then it's just like
we can push the limits.
You went from calculus to AP calculus.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different animal.
How do you like the truck though?
It's insane. It's straight up. I mean, if someone asked me to describe, it's violent.
It is fucking violent, dude. I've seen it.
It's fucking. It's wild. It's wild. And I was telling you guys this before. Like, people now will challenge. You get in a weird space where you're over 1,000 horsepower, and you're talking about cars and mods and stuff.
Yeah.
Then people start to challenge you. And you're like, oh, that's weird. And you guys tell me it's weird to me because this guy challenged me. He has a twin turbo Raptor. His dad's not Henry Ford.
No.
He didn't fucking make that Ford truck. He didn't build the engine. He didn't do the forged internals.
Yeah.
He paid somebody to put on those turbos.
Yeah.
So I don't get where the ego comes from. Oh, my truck's faster. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't build it. Yeah. Your guy didn't build it. What are we arguing over here?
Yeah.
So are we arguing you're a better internet searcher? Are we arguing that you have deeper pockets? Like it's the basic argument of I spent more money on this truck than yours. Watch how much faster. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
If that gets your rocks off, cool. Now, if I'm you and I'm competing in races and I'm putting the time in, I'm building the engine, I'm tweaking and doing it, yeah, all right, now fire away.
Yeah.
But if you're just a dude that works at Starbucks and has a fast Raptor, I'm not into it, dude. I have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
No, it's funny.
Yeah, you got more time to search the internet and find better bolt-ons.
Right. Everybody asks. It's the same thing.
So we need to. What you're saying is we need to race up against a F-150 or what is it?
Yeah, we had twin turbo Raptors talking some stuff.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we'd be all right.
We've eaten that for lunch already.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have.
They're fast, man. They're fast.
They're nice trucks.
Those always, they're great. Baja, there's nothing like them. But in a straightaway, I like my chances.
No.
I like my chances.
Yeah, by the time those things are done spooling up, we're already way down the track.
I found a better shop than you and paid more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's the argument.
Yeah, that's it.
I was willing to drive to Texas. You weren't. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Good flex, dude.
It's crazy.
It's
wild.
You got to
It's
be
not like
in
I
it.
fucking put the camshaft in myself,
Yeah.
dude. Neither did you, bud.
But they're
did
still
you do
do-
the tune? Were you
Yeah.
on the computer with Noel, like Chris was
Yeah.
doing the fucking tune? Oh, you don't know any of that shit? What's the argument, bud?
Yeah.
We might as well argue over our fucking tennis shoes. Did your dad invent Nike? Mine didn't invent Reebok.
Yeah.
The fuck are we arguing for?
You're a better Googler than I am.
That's it, dude.
You're better at internet search and putting bolt-ons. I was like, okay.
Yeah. It's a combination thing.
It's
We
an
got
ego
to.
thing.
We gotta line up and race one of them.
What?
That truck.
Oh, dude, he would destroy. Well, that
truck, Schaub's truck is nasty.
midnight performance.
And I still have
that's
another.
wild.
I still have another 100 horsepower to put on it.
Yeah.
At least.
I like
Sign me
that.
up.
See, that's one of those Bailey
'Cause we
things,
have
like,
the
hey,
tune
man,
for
I
it.
got one.
Yeah.
It's
That's
I
because you
just
guys got
gotta load
shitty 85 out in Texas.
We do.
yeah.
Right up
California.
here, minimum 80. Because the Demon 170 will tell you the level of your
Yeah.
85.
Yeah.
It never drops below 80.
See, you got the good stuff. We're like 70, 65, 70 on an average.
Take my word for it, not a reason to move out here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Stay in Texas.
Yeah.
Don't move to Cali for 85.
Hey, so
It's the only thing I have over you guys in Texas.
are you gonna get a place in Texas?
Probably
Listen.
not. I would have done it already. I looked during the pandemic when Rogan moved. And like all my friends went out there. I looked, and it's just tough.
So-
My business is here. It's just tough. And also, I mean, you guys see, I'm not like in Hollywood where it's like this woke, like Kamala Harris the best thing ever. Like out here's red, man.
Right.
Like these are my people out here.
Yeah.
I know everybody out here. My son's in a great like little league. His school's great. It'd be tough.
Yeah.
My in-laws are out here. It'd be tough.
So
Now-
red does exist out here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere but Hollywood, bud.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Really?
It's just the population in
It's
the
San
city.
Francisco, Hollywood. The rest is all Trump 2024.
Man, I'm that's a whole nother can of worms, right? Because they're trying to get rid of this these combustion motors and all this other stuff.
Oh, I'll fucking storm the Capitol. They do that.
Yeah.
That's why it's important you vote.
Yeah,
I don't
it
care
is,
if you don't like
dude.
Trump. Yeah, but she's a woman of color. I don't give a fuck about any of that.
No,
you
no,
like
no,
combustion engines?
Yeah.
Vote for Trump.
Yes. You like good economy?
Vote for Trump.
Maybe as an asshole, vote for Trump.
No,
it doesn't matter,
no,
dude.
I'm not asking you. I don't want him to marry your daughter.
Yeah.
You know, this is a different thing. No. You
Yeah.
take all that out of it.
Yeah.
Just what's going to affect you, you got to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Because you can get 4 years of some wild shit the other team wins.
we get respect back as a country, right? I think that's the number one thing. That's what I worry about day to
That's a
day.
tough one.
Is just like general respect for what how the other countries view us right now, and it's opportunistic is how I see it. You know, you got countries like China, dude. It's just
China, Russia don't respect us.
no, fuck.
They
no,
won't even take a
not right
meeting
now.
with them. They're like, what? No.
They're like, no.
Yeah.
Trump's be like, hey, I'll fucking call that guy.
Even on a smaller scale, it's like I deal with all these brands like Kibby Tech and Magnuson and all these brands, Innovate, like all the King Shocks. Like these are mom and pop shops, family owned. Borla, David Borla. Like I deal with all of them. Kamala wins, man. All those businesses are affected. So
Yeah.
you like your pre-runner, you like your demon, dude. All that stuff goes away.
Dang.
All the cool shit goes away, dude. And,
It
and
gets
then we're
harder.
sheep and Tesla, and your options are white or black, and they're tracking all your shit. And then where you charge is owned by China. Like, figure it the fuck out, man. Don't get me started, dude.
No.
You don't
It's
want
tough.
this podcast to be that.
No,
I'm
it's
telling
tough,
you,
though.
dude.
But it's like-
you think I'm crazy when it comes to business? I'm with politics, yeah, man.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It affects the car industry more than people think. It affects our hobbies more than people think.
It affects your livelihood,
And-
your livelihood,
yeah,
yours,
everything, yeah.
yours. Think about Dodge's Stellantis is learning the fucking hard way.
God,
I fucking tried to tell you.
Yeah.
The America's not into EVs.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Do your thing. Same with like gay people. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Whatever.
As long as you don't force me to suck the
Yeah.
dick, I don't care what you do in
Yeah.
your bedroom.
Right.
But as soon as you tell me in California, this
Hey,
when I
yeah.
launched Drive Fast All Gas, as soon as you tell me we're going to make it illegal to buy combustion engines in 2035, which is not,
That's so stupid.
it's not possible.
Yeah.
But when you tell me, then I'm like, oh, now you got my attention.
Yeah.
What's up? Now you got my attention. So that people are like, oh, the technology of EVs, I get all that, and I love Elon Musk. I love him. He's great, right? But it's the culture around EVs. It's the democratic way of pitching EV. EVs this. If you're into fashion, it's like, you remember how skinny jeans were cool for a while?
Yeah.
And then they sell so many of them. And like the market's flooded. We got to switch it up. Now it's baggy jeans. That's
Yeah.
all they're doing with EVs.
Yeah.
Everyone has combustion. Now they put on these rules and regulations in place and make it tough to get combustion. And now EVs are the baggy jeans.
It's the best
That's
way
all
to
it
make
is.
money.
It's
That's
just,
it.
it's just a money
So,
play for
yeah.
all these businesses.
Right.
Figure it the fuck out. If you want to drive one, all good.
Right.
But don't make it illegal for us to drive in California. Or don't make it impossible for me to get a blower here in California.
Yeah.
It's a way for, I think the EV switch is the way for the government to be more involved in controlling our cars or purchases versus right now in the gas, and previously in the gas world, they had no sway in that besides some emissions regulations here and there, but they couldn't say that, you are only allowed to produce one sports car. Versus now they're saying, well, you
Full
have
control.
you have to make so many EVs per gas cars. So now they have a way to control that market and collect their money.
If you let them, like Stellantis, and I'm a Mopar guy. I love a
That's-
you put a Hellcat in anything, I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, I'm in.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck what it looks like. I'm in if it has a
Yeah.
Hellcat. But Stellantis learned the hard way. They're like, oh, we're going to be the front runner of EVs.
Yeah.
You seen their sales?
Tanked.
Dude.
Tanked.
They're doing the worst out of any other company out there.
Tanked.
See what Ford did? I love Farley at Ford.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll never stop making a V8. It's not
Right.
happening. They released the Raptor, the Raptor Bronco. They released the Raptor Ranger. They have the GTD. Their new Mustangs, the
Coyotes.
Coyotes.
Yep.
Their Mustangs are dope. Like
Yeah.
they're doubling down.
Yeah.
They're booming. Sales are booming.
Yep.
Chevy drops the ZR1. Like sales are booming.
Yep.
And then
Because then-
Stellantis over here bullshitting.
Oh,
And,
don't get me started with the transmission.
But you get
dude, the whole thing.
It's so stupid.
Who the fuck is running that business?
Yeah, man, it's
embarrassing.
It's bad. It's bad because you're when you think of American cars, it's the raw V8
Yep.
push rod.
The Dodge
just
brothers.
Yes.
It's never, when I think of EV, it's all European stuff, right? That's those guys over there that want that gay shit.
Yep.
No, we're Americans.
But also the majority of Americans are speaking. Ford shut down their EV plant in Alabama.
Yeah.
Chevy shut down their EV plant because no one's buying them. They
Nobody
went,
wants
oh, this isn't good. No, bitch, you're Bud Light.
Right.
Bud
That
Light.
was a freaking fad.
You're Bud Light.
homie.
It's a fad. We're not into it.
Yeah.
You're Bud
They're
Light.
great.
dude.
I think everybody has one and should have one, and it's got its place somewhere. My wife drives one back and forth to her destination every single day, but her Blackwing sits right next to it, which sits right next to my Blackwing, which are both pushrod V8s, right?
It's never gonna, an EV's never gonna give you that experience
no,
or feel.
it's a golf cart.
But I want to sit down with the Stellantis guy and the homeboy that came up with the Hellcat and the TRX and the Demon. He left, right?
Yep,
he
he's
left.
gone.
And he's at Chevy, the word is, right?
Oh Lord.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, it's a different one.
conversation. Yeah, Firebird coming in hot. Anyway, so he, God bless him. God fucking bless that guy in
Yeah.
Farley at Ford.
Yeah.
But I'd like to sit down with him and just be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing?
Come on, guys.
Are you? What's the? How many times did you do last call?
Yeah.
And they all sold out.
All of
TRX,
them.
one of the most successful trucks of all time. The Challengers, the Chargers.
The Scat Pack. Holy
Scat
shit,
Packs.
dude! I
Dude,
was looking at numbers. Have you seen that?
They're wild, dude. and they're also there's markups on them. They're selling out.
Dude,
and
30,
you go completely
40,
away from
50.
that.
Yeah.
Dude, on the fucking Demon 170s, even on the 2018 Demons, the regular Demons, you're talking 100K markup. On the 170, you're talking 200K markup.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are going away from that? Where the fuck did you get your degree in business?
Yeah.
Even if you're not a combustion V8 guy, all good.
Great.
But you like money, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Who told you to do this? Not Americans.
No.
So
No.
who you listen to over in Europe?
Makes you wonder, right?
Yes, dude.
Like, why would you do that?
But no, it goes back
don't-
to the last one,
I don't know.
the pod that dropped with the whole AI thing. You know, you think about energy and alternative energy, and you're like, whose pockets are we stuffing now? Like,
EV's China.
I know.
I just
dude.
don't want them
They're
to
10
control.
years ahead of us.
I know.
I don't
are.
want them to control the cars. I also feel like they're gonna go in if there's ever, oh, he's fucking up.
Oh, shut
delete
them
the car.
down.
Oh yeah,
Shut the car down.
A movie on Netflix came out about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
They'll have capabilities doing it. They'll be
Yeah,
able to
but
track
you-
Oh,
everything.
sure. For
You
sure.
know who made that movie, right? What, it was
Zuckerberg.
no. Oh man, we're gonna have to pull that movie up.
Maximum
Kamala Harris.
Overdrive.
No, it was the one where all the Teslas were.
Yeah.
They took over all the Teslas
Yep.
and they were crashing. It was like the day after tomorrow or
Oh.
something
Yeah,
like that.
they shut down the entire state
The whole thing.
That's
and
cool.
and they were
with the power
controlling.
lock grid.
The
yeah.
Obamas directed that movie.
What?
Oh yeah, it's an Obama's movie. Wild, right?
Let that sink in. People are like, "Oh, you're conspiracy theorists." I'm like,
No,
no.
No, I just like to think a
it's
lot.
the
No,
Obama.
no. It's how do you think this is going?
Leave the world behind.
Are you not a little worried with this stuff? Oh,
Leave-
you're being ridiculous. Am I? Do you remember when they shut down the state of California over the flu?
Oh,
and they
my
wanted to do
God.
it twice.
Yeah.
Am I being ridiculous?
Yep.
Oh, you just want your V8s? Fuck yeah, I do, man.
Yes.
Why? 'Cause
And
American.
Freedom. Freedom.
Yeah.
wild.
That's it. It's a representation of freedom.
It's wild. So what's the next? What are you gonna buy next?
I'm excited for that Hummer. I've been balls deep in educating myself on Hummer. And again, the Hummer community, like the Ryan at Predator, my boy in North Carolina, it's just such a good community. That's what I'm drawn to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hummers are already badass, but the community around them's badass, man. I love it. I fucking love it, man.
So
Because I like tribes. I like good people and tribes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because I don't have a lot of that. Yeah.
and then you can come in and out. Nobody's mad at you when you're not there because you're at a sporting event or something like that. Those are important. And the Hummer community, like, it exists pretty well in Dallas. It's
The Hummer is kind of like the Porsche. It's a secret elite group
Yeah.
that own
Mhm.
Hummers.
Mhm.
Yep.
What year is yours?
95.
And a good 95
Two-door.
Alpha. If you were to get an Alpha, it's 120, 150 grand.
Yeah, yeah. And we can get balls deep in Hummers. I think Alphas are overrated. That Duramax to me
Yep.
is not that good. That's why I went with a 95. I
Yeah.
think there's things you can do to beat the Alpha, but
It's they're not cheap though.
Yeah, but
And then
The
even
Alphas aren't, but this is my argument because my co-hosts were making fun of me for having a Hummer. I said, all right, cool. I said, do you know, like if you get a Humvee, the registration I can figure out, but
Right.
the issue is the registration. But
Yes.
do you realize that the government was allocating 150, 200, 225,000 per Humvee? The technology that's in those fucking cars, they're indestructible.
Yeah.
All you idiots have to do is change your oil.
Yeah.
The rest of it, it's easy to work on. And you can get them for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Like it's an amazing vehicle, dude. Yeah, they're impractical. Are they? Charge your Tesla for 3 fucking hours, dude. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Impractical. It's wide. Okay.
So is
Don't
an
park in
18,
tight
yeah.
spots, fuckface.
Yeah, go park at the end of the
It's
grocery
also
store.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
There's that. Oh, when are you ever going to use that? I don't know, but it's nice to have.
Yeah, you may need it at any point in time.
I'm in LA. You never know.
What, to take the wrong turn, right?
Yeah, dude, you never know.
You're not
All
gonna
I
make
know
the
is-
head.
All I know is it's nice to have. It's a good option.
Yeah, it's a
And
a
it
plus.
comes standard. That's what you're dealing with.
It's on the
dude.
base
It
model.
comes standard.
Yeah.
What's up, dude? Yeah, bro.
Manual?
No.
Oh, just,
And the 6.5 has its own issues.
Yeah.
That's why I did a swap on it, but still.
so are you gonna lift it? You gonna put?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already talked to boys at Predator lifting it 3-inch lift.
So what does a 3-inch lift do to clearance? So I think they come with a full chassis clearance of what? Like,
Well, it's portals, right? Are you doing the portals?
yeah.
right. So they do.
Yeah.
Dude.
So,
That's the only way to do it, though,
yeah.
right?
So yeah, they come with I think most of them on the market now. People have 37s on them. If you do a 3-inch lift, you can fit 42s on there. Now I'm not a big wheel guy because they
Yeah.
weigh so much. And people are like, oh, well, Hummers aren't supposed to be slow. I'm like, I know, but you don't want
They're
to
so-
encourage
yeah.
the slowness.
Yeah.
Like
You don't want to go from 55 to 35.
No, they're already painfully slow. Dude.
Yeah.
For a guy that likes to go fast, it's tough. It's fucking tough, dude.
Because it's screaming to do 55.
Bro, and and on the 405, I'm racing down into my son's baseball, and the engine's just so loud, you're going 50 in the fast lane. People hate you. It's great. It's great. No AC, no radio.
There's
So-
Schaub. He's
Yeah,
rolling down the 405.
Bulletproof, though.
And it's bulletproof.
No windows,
no windows.
ready to roll.
Oh,
so
my.
portals on it, 42s?
No, again, I'm not a big tire guy. I mean, on the TRX, I have 38s. That giveaway Raptor had 39s. The tire adds so much weight, man.
Yeah.
And then I don't like putting, everyone does the Baja look where they put the extra tire on the back. It's talking about weight. I can't leave. Like, you won't be able to take the fast car guy out of me. Even in the truck space, I'm always about speed. I prefer speed. I'd rather have a built motor than a dope long range travel or anything. I'd rather have a fast motor.
Yeah.
I'm always that guy. Where usually off road's a little different. They're
Yep.
about suspension, shocks,
Right.
and that stuff. I'm about fast.
You're like,
So you going to do anything with this to make it fast?
Oh yeah, it has a 350 in it, V8, Chevy V8. They did
Really?
a swap. It's the gasser, which is against all Hummer rules according to their Bible. So
yeah.
we'll see. I'll get some blowback, but I'm just looking for fast and reliable.
So it's a 350. So I'm just thinking.
What's the weight? What's the weight of that vehicle?
A tank. Let's put turbos
You can,
and LS swap it, and let's put turbos through the freaking hood.
dude. You say less. The only thing on it. So when you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fucking
The reason you got to lift is because the engine bay, it's tight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone lifts it to clear a supercharger or a turbo.
Yeah.
Put
But-
turbos on it and do the exhaust coming straight up out of it, so it just
Like a warthog.
decks.
Like
Yes.
a fucking warthog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But turboed, right? Because you've got a
Turbos.
happy medium. It's not super violent. You
It'll
can
spool it up nice.
Chris is the one that opened my mind to turbos because I come from the old
Same.
school turbo day where there's a lag, and I'm always supercharger first.
Because he does it, man, dude. And this dude
That's
does
why I
it.
listen.
I know, and you have to. Every time, like, he'll be like, all right, hey, let's do this on your car. And I'll be like, okay, I want to see you do it first. And he's like, all right, fuck it. So
Yeah, turbo is just foreign to me. Like, I've had turbo cars before, but I've never done it, myself or had a shop put them on. So it's like turbos it seems like a lot more work, and there's like more room for airs with turbos.
Yes.
And then also, I know the guys in the supercharger space, so at Magnuson and at Whipple, so I have relations there. In the turbo world, it's like Helion, right?
Yeah.
Out of New Mexico, Albuquerque.
Yep.
I don't know them. They make great product. I don't know those boys though. But if you're gonna do turbos, that's probably the move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside that though, just turbo's foreign to me.
It's different.
I'm open-minded though.
It's different, and the superchargers, you're definitely gonna pick up a lot more torque for it.
yeah.
Which is what the Hummer needs.
It does, and you'll be able to get that. The problem with turbos is that everybody immediately starts rattling off massive turbo-sized numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get this lag in it. It's not a
It's not
match
efficient.
Yeah.
turbo to the motor.
Exactly.
Right? So we
And
want
is
it
that
to be
where the
able to
lag
work
comes
fast.
from?
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's this motor that's got to move this big turbo.
Produce a
So it's taking a straw to your ceiling fan kind of. Let's move your ceiling fan like that.
But the superchargers take a lot of power to get it going too.
They
yeah.
do.
So you're losing a lot there as well.
Yeah, they do, and it just depends. The vision, right? When I'm thinking a Hummer, I'm like, let's get this.
They're known for
nasty.
turbos. Yeah, the 6.5 turbo. That's the alpha.
Yep, let's
Yeah.
get these turbos out and just make
No,
it
I'm
look
open. Just be gentle.
tough.
I'm
Just
open
be
to it. Just be
gentle.
gentle with the turbo world. Just
like
be
it would
gentle.
be so nasty. People, they're like, what is this freaking Hummer doing?
Yeah,
And
man.
lighting all 4 tires on the dyno,
Yeah.
going down the street.
Yeah, I don't know
now.
if you can get a Hummer on a dyno. I can't get my TRX on a dyno.
Yeah, that TRX is too gangster.
Yeah,
That
That
thing is wide.
yeah.
I had to put stock wheels on it just to get that thing to
I
fit
saw-
on my rack.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
that's a problem.
Yeah,
I was
we-
like, man, this thing turned.
we were
really
pulling that
rad.
in, and I was like, that's not gonna fit. So let's game plan, change tires, and then we put it on, change tires again for video, so it looked like it was never a skinny girl that missed a leg day, and then this big old wide thing up top.
Yeah, because guys, you'll see a lot of TRXs out there, and again, it's not bragging. I didn't do the work you did, but it'd be hard to argue that that's not the fastest like daily TRX on the road. It'd be tough. Like you'll see guys. I won't mention shops. You see them when they're like over 1,100 horsepower, and I look at the dyno with the skinnies on it. I'm like, that doesn't count.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
That's not practical.
No, you can't drop the kids into school in that.
That truck feels like it wants to do a wheelie on the street.
No,
Yeah.
it looks like. So I was explaining to a buddy of mine. He was like, "So what are those? You see them sometimes on TikTok where it looks like these TRXs are like popping wheelies and
Yeah.
shit, and some of it's CGI."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, it looks like that."
No, I got one that can do it.
Yeah, I was
It
like,
goes so
Yeah.
fast it like squashes.
"Yeah,
down.
it's crazy, dude. That thing crabs off." What was the first thing you did when you got it? So you picked it up. What'd you do?
First thing I
Didn't flip it.
Did not flip this one. First thing I did was wheels, tires, and shocks at Kings because those are my boys.
No, driving. What'd you do?
Oh,
Where'd you-
driving?
Yeah, where'd you take it?
I like to go down to Topanga or Laurel Canyon at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. There's no way on the road.
Right.
Yeah, you just freaking
And so,
go.
are you radio down,
Radio
listening
down.
to the?
Yeah, radio down. Yeah,
listening-
yeah.
getting
You don't
used-
get a Hellcat and then that exhaust and have the radio on.
Put Yanni on the radio
Yeah,
and
no.
just jam out.
Yeah, no.
So you're cruising. You're and how are you figuring out like the horsepower difference between what it was when you dropped it off and what it is now?
Oh,
Like,
you're saying that when I got back from Chris?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's so.
Oh,
I flew out
this
to
is when
Fort
you first
Worth.
got it. No, I'm talking about
Are
when
you
you got
after
it.
him.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. I get to Fort Worth, and I obviously, he has, a name, and I know he set the record with the Demon, and it's just, I'm scared. I was scared because I flipped my TRX previously. That's not even close to this much power.
Right.
You don't want to do it again.
Not on, like,
So me and him are down the freeway, and I got my boy Peter filming, and it's just like, holy shit! I'm scared. Like I'm scared to like push it to the max. And I've had it, about 2 weeks now, and even now I'm still a little figuring it out, man. So I don't crash. I'm figuring it out. But it's like, ooh. But that's what I live for. I
Yeah.
like to jump in my car and be like, all right, dude, pay attention.
Yeah.
Like there's no
That's
cruise
the adrenaline
control.
rush.
Yeah. There's
I
no
love
cruise
that.
control.
So-
Fuck your cruise control.
Yeah.
Like that thing's gonna wreck.
Follow-up question. When do you trust, like, so when I get a car, you know, I pretty well explore it, push it to its limits, and then I'll invite people in to ride in and experience it the way it's supposed to be experienced, right? When do you get to that level where you're able to like really get people out of their cars?
I've only got there once, and that was with my GT2 RS because I put so many miles on it.
Yeah.
And I would come home at night from the comedy store at like 1 in the morning. I knew no cars, if they were, I'd be so screwed. But I knew there's no cars coming in and out of their driveways and stuff. So that's a windy road. And that GT RS 2 sticks to the road like a fucking frog, man. It's tuned.
Yeah.
And it has a gauge on it that keeps the track time. And I'd set when I'd leave from Sunset to the end of Topanga, and I try and beat my record every night. Dude, bro, oh my God. I knew that car like the back of my hand.
Right.
Like I could, you know, when you get so, you guys know,
yes.
you get so familiar with the car, I can feel it in my legs, in my ass. I can feel the car where it's going.
Yeah.
You can just, these sensors. It's like these ass leg sensors. I just feel that. I've only had that with one car, and that's a GT2 RS.
Really?
It's the best car I've ever owned.
Yeah, people say that, dude. I see
That's
them all
how
the
I am
time.
with the Demon.
I know a couple
I can
guys.
feel that thing.
Really?
I'm not there with the Demon.
Yeah.
I'm not there with the Demon.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how that wheelie I did. I kind of knew where she was. The wheelie made it on the Dodge commercial. That real gangster,
Yes.
nasty one.
Yes.
So I can feel that, and everybody's always like, "Man, how do you know? Like, what are you doing?" I can feel when it kind of comes up, and then it starts to over rotate.
Yep.
And it's like,
not to. Yep.
I'm there, and then I'm like, it's rotating a little bit more.
Now I'm gonna
I'm
hurt it.
okay.
That's
and then
seat time.
We'll give it. It's seat
It's
time
seat
and
time.
experience.
Yeah.
But I can know, like, the learning curve from blower to turbo
Oh, dude.
was retraining the ears,
Yep.
the body to feel what I was hearing and correlating it to, okay, that's okay, check. That's okay, that's not okay. I need to go look at that. So it was learning all these different sounds, but yeah, each car talks to me. And I understand what she likes, what she doesn't
I love
like,
that.
where things are going, how it is. So everybody always asks me, what do you think my car's going to go? I'm like, I don't know. We got to see where she's at. We got to let her know. She'll tell us when she's ready to go faster and faster and faster.
So I got a question for you. Does the minivan talk to you?
Absolutely.
They all
I freaking
talk.
love that thing.
Yeah. You have a minivan
I do.
back in Texas?
Pacifica.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick. Chrysler?
Yeah, Chrysler.
With
Hell
20s.
Yeah. I put 20s and lowered it.
Any engine work?
Not yet.
Yeah.
If the guys come out with the Hellcat swap in it, I'm putting the Hellcat in.
Oh, you have to.
The guys, you mean you?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was
there's-
like, who the
What
fuck are
guys
the
waiting
guys?
on?
Like,
You're
who
the
are you-
guy, bud. So until
You're-
you do it, it's not getting done. Until they figure out how to swap that thing. You.
We're waiting on you, motherfucker.
I need to get all the other stuff done before we can.
It's hard
so-
to leave anything alone. If I had your knowledge, I mean, fuck.
It'd be on
Like
the
even
rack.
my wife's.
It'd be on the rack right
It's,
now.
it's
Yeah.
so sweet to just push the automatic sliding doors. Get out.
Yeah, with
Yep.
kids, that's gangster. That's gangster.
It's the only way to roll
You know?
up. Yeah.
But they loved. We gave them a ride in Brendan's truck. More supercharger, Daddy. More supercharger.
more wine.
You just hear that thing.
Yeah.
So your boys, they eat that thing up?
Love it.
Is that their favorite right now?
The Hummer's their favorite for whatever reason. I think just because they feel like they're in the military. But yeah, they love the TRX.
Yeah.
My
It's
littlest
raw.
is scary. Yeah, it's scary. It's a scary ride.
What about the wife? What's her favorite?
She's different than me. She has a G-Wagon, but again, I can't leave anything alone. So it has bigger turbos. It's not as loud as the TRX, but it's up there, man.
Really?
And she's going to, like, mommy and me classes and shit in that thing. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. This thing rumbles. You've seen it, Case. This thing's wild.
Yeah.
Really?
And she's like, why? I'm like, why not? I tried convincing her to get a track hawk because she was looking for a mom mobile. And she's like, yeah, I just want something different than other moms. I'm like, yeah, track hawk.
Yeah.
Durango.
And she's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to track hawk. Durango would be cool.
Yeah, the
But
Hellcat Durango.
I know, dude, but she just wasn't having it. I'm like, the other moms, they're going to smoke the fucking doors off these other moms.
Dude.
She's like, why would I want to smoke
So-
the doors off? I'm like, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
It's a funny story. It's a funny fucking story. Went to this is the EV that we bought, right?
Yeah.
Volkswagen ID4. And this was for the commute. And I bought it, and we live in like north of Austin, way out in the middle of the fucking country. And I bought it in Prosper, which is north of Dallas. And so we drive up, and I was like, hey, I bought this thing. Let's go get it. We'll, see some family in Dallas, and then we'll come back. And we roll up, and guess where it was? It was at that Dodge dealership up there. And guess what was on the showroom floor? The Wagoneer Limited, and the fucking Durango Hellcat.
The last call Durango one.
Fuck yes.
They're
And,
seriously though, last call.
Exactly. I'm like, how many last calls are you gonna do? But anyways, they're sitting side by side, and my wife is a little like me on this too, right?
Oh hell yeah.
So we're the cool kids, and we're pulling up to buy an EV, and she was like, well, what kind of fuel mileage does this get? And I was like, I love your little heart for being so pure and asking about fuel mileage on this car. It's terrible, but it's so fucking fun.
Yeah. It's worth it.
And she's like, yeah, it looks fun, but I already have a car. And I was like, so I was this
so
close.
Dude. Dude, you give me an inch.
I know.
I would have sealed the deal, dude.
Dude, I was like,
I would have lied. I'm like, there's things we can do to get better gas mileage.
There's
bigger supercharger.
We can send it to Chris.
Tune it. You can get better gas
We'll
mileage.
give it to Chris.
The exhaust opens up the airway. There's
It's
all
crazy.
sorts of stuff we can do.
It's crazy in the Durango to get that much power because you look back and you're like, whoa, there's 3 rows
Yeah.
of like pure power.
I had that
It's
Durango.
great.
I had the little 318 Durango back when it wasn't the full size, but it was the little size. That little thing would rip, dude.
They're dope.
Yeah.
I love them.
Not anymore.
We'll see. I bet it comes back around. They're learning the hard way.
Yeah.
But even my wife, when she first met me, I've had a number of Porsches, Bentleys, Ferraris, you name it. She said, what happened to those days? I'm like, the government.
Yeah, no shit. That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
She's like, you're just about America? I'm like, correct. Trucks, loud, fast cars.
Yeah, freedom.
V8s. Yeah.
That's it.
It's freedom, baby. It's freedom.
Well, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
You boys got a long weekend, man.
We do.
Hopefully I can get out there on Sunday.
That'd be fun, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like, I don't want my son's team to lose, but you kind of do, so I can make it on Sunday.
It's an internal
you know
battle.
what I want? I want him to play really well, but they
Losing
lose.
is
That's what I want.
losing is character building.
I want him to throw a no-hitter, but somehow they lose,
Dude, if you bring the truck out, we got to run it down the track.
Oh shit!
I
What,
love
dude?
that.
Let's take it down the track if you bring the truck out. I'll make that happen.
Yeah. I'll figure something out.
Hey,
If
do you
you
think your
make it.
kid? Do you think your kids would love to see that thing go down?
Fuck yeah, dude.
10 to 4. It's 10 to 4 is the show. I mean, if you get there early, if you want to park in the booth, that's fine. But 10 to 4. So
Yeah,
if
we
you
got
can
a
make it
booth.
anywhere between 10 to 4, I'll make sure you get there.
I'll do whatever I can to make
And
this happen.
we'll run that thing down the track on 38s
38s.
and see what it does. Just
Dude, you in?
Oh, dude, I'm in. I'll figure
Yeah,
it out. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
and then we'll put a ramp at the very end of it and just jump it.
Yeah, just,
Oh wait.
then you got to do it
Wait.
and drone it at the
Dude,
end.
my dad
Fully
alarm is
redeem
going
yourself.
off right now. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
right?
no,
Yeah.
We're not ramping the fucking his
Yeah,
brand new.
I'll get
fucking
out there. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
That'd be badass. We can do that. So we end the pod usually with the guest giving a piece of advice to your younger self that had no clue you were going to be here in this world.
Oh, man.
Little Brendan,
What would you tell that
little 6-year-old Brendan.
little Brendan telling where are you going to go
God.
and what would that be?
Yeah.
Man, that's a heavy question.
Yeah.
I know. Man, I don't. It's a tough question for me because I have zero regrets, and the one thing that makes me be able to sleep good at night is I've done everything I can. Like, it's not like any opportunity I've had, I'm like, oh man, if I would have just worked harder. Like, man, whether you like it or not, whether it's stand up, podcasting, football, UFC, man, I did everything in my power to make it. Everything in my power. So I sleep good, man. And
Yeah.
it's just sometimes, shit happens. So there's not much. I
Never give
would
up.
tell Little Brendan, keep going.
Nice.
Keep going.
Just keep going.
Keep going, dude.
That's all you're going to do?
Sounds familiar,
Push.
man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
going. Yeah.
Yep.
Does.
And then I would say that 6-year-old, no shit, dude, and keep going.
Yeah.
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 Love it.
Badass. Thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was
We'll see you.
badass.
Thanks.